I am now joined by Kagiri Mbugua, advocate of the High Court, to help us make sense of it all. Advocate of the High Court. I think I got the title right. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. A very good evening to you.
Evening to you, Nina.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Right.
Now, just to jump right into it, why would the Senate Majority Leader, that's Samuel Poghisho, choose to withdraw his proposal for a committee to investigate Sonko's impeachment motion?
Well, there could be a number of reasons, but primarily, whenever an issue is sent to the plenary, it normally looks like or gives the perception that it's a bit more diplomatic. If you can remember, there was quite, sorry, not diplomatic, but democratic. If you can remember, during Waigoro's impeachment, that was the same contention that was coming up, that if it goes through the committee, then there's this perception that it's predetermined. And so the committee just comes to rubber stamp an already predetermined decision. Now, of course, we can all imagine where this motion came from. Everyone, your guess is as good as mine. You know. But it would be good, I believe, for the current administration, that's the national government, as well as Senate, to give the entire House an opportunity to deliberate on these issues, get diverse views, diverse opinions, and then come up with a decision that will at least have a semblance of a decision that's democratic and made by the entire House, which reflects the face of Kenya, really. Democracy. Yeah.
All right. So with the Senate having chosen to probe the impeachment through the plenary session, is politics likely to override the substance of the impeachment motion at the Senate?
Well, Nina, impeachment is politics. The whole process is politics. Whether through committee, whether through plenary, it's still politics. I think perhaps it becomes, it takes it to another level when you have to deal with more than 47 senators, if you are to include the nominated senators as well. There has to be a lot of lobbying at the end of the day. There has to be a lot of deal-making or attempted deal-making behind the scenes. But what is going to be interesting to see is the position that will be taken by the two supposed alliances in Parliament right now, or in Senate right now, which is the pro-BBI faction, which is the ODM and Wiper and whatever, together with part of almost half of Jubilee, and then the Tanga faction as well. It will be interesting to see the arguments they put across, or the opinions that their senators are going to put across. I think it will also shed a bit of light onto the ongoing larger scale of politics in the country. But at the bottom line is it's all politics.
Impeachment is politics.
Impeachment is politics. Yeah.
All right, and there's some crimes that I want to actually read to you. My question, of course, is some of these crimes are impeachable, and we're looking at crimes such as embarrassing and harassing officers, unlawfully using public funds to pay for his daughter's trip, bad language, being intoxicated, and etc. Are this enough to get him impeached?
I think you should not look at them in isolation, but look at them wholesomely, and then also look at them with reference to Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which attempted rather to set pretty high standards on integrity for holders of public office. Now, if you look at it from that perspective, all of them put together in one basket paint a pretty gloomy picture. Unfortunately, it is conduct that has been persistent for quite some time. It has not been a one-off isolated situation. And so it is not surprising that it's gotten to a point where MCAs or perhaps the powers that be have said, hey, this is too much. We really can't continue stomaching this anymore. Now, as regards whether this conduct has adversely affected the running of the county, adversely affected service delivery, adversely affected even the relationship between county government and national government at the end of the day, I think this is what at law we call the standard of proof that has to be met, and it's what the senators are going to be trying to deliberate on before a decision is arrived at.
All right. Yeah. And apart from the few crimes that we've mentioned, from where you sit, do you think that another reason why Sonko is being impeached from the Nairobi County is the refusal to approve the county's budget?
It's no secret that refusal to approve that budget has forced NMS to more or less seem like it's ground to a halt. It has stalled service delivery. for the residents of Nairobi. And now, by stalling that in itself, it goes directly against the mandate that the president sought to give to NMS. So we shouldn't just look at it as, has it stalled on service delivery to the residents of Nairobi? Has it caused NMS to more or less have a slowdown in operations? But how has this affected the president's agenda for Nairobi County? And I think that's where the buck stopped, because the president has a vision clearly of what he would want Nairobi to be. He had hoped that Sonko will match that standard as governor. Remember, Sonko is a Jubilee governor.
Yes.
He got the nomination from the Jubilee party, of which the president is a party leader. And the president, of course, has certain agenda that he's trying to put across in terms of development, in terms of growth even of economy of the country. Nairobi, of course, being a very integral part of that as well. So merely not approving a budget, on paper it might look like a small thing, but the ripple effects have been immense. So to your question, has it affected or has it had an effect on these impeachment proceedings being brought? Yeah, most certainly it has.
All right. Yeah. And the next question is, of course, is this a battle for dominance between the national government and the county government?
I wouldn't say it's a battle of dominance. The Constitution provides for avenues for both levels of government to work together. It also provides for avenues...
Sorry, national government and Governor Sonko.
You'd have to repeat the question.
Sorry, is it a battle for dominance between the national government and Governor Sonko, not a county government?
Well, I don't think you only have a battle perhaps when you have two evenly matched contenders.
They're not evenly matched.
I don't think they're evenly matched. I think the government, the national government would win that battle any day. But I don't want it to look like it is a battle at the end of the day. I don't want it to seem like it's a contention. Services need to be delivered. Nairobi needs to be upgraded and improved on so many levels. I think the question should be, has the tussle between the two been an impediment? Yes, it has. So we don't need a tussle anymore. We need a system of government, both at county and national government, that works together for the betterment of Nairobi residents. And I think this impeachment, as gruesome as it might look, perhaps, or feel for supporters of Governor Sonko, might be a necessary evil for national government and the county to actually have a harmonious working relationship. And
Sonko's impeachment has been on the cards for a while now. So is it too late for a county whose key functions are already in the hands of the national government?
I think that also speaks to a large extent to the character of the governor himself, because he willingly signed over those functions and transferred those functions to national government.
Willingly.
Now, he's okay, as far as we know. Again, Nina, your guess is as good as mine. But from what we saw, at least because news centers and the media reported it, it looked like it was a willing transfer of power, of functions rather. Now, for those functions to be run, you need financing. Financing that comes from the county in itself, because these are county functions that are being run. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it would have been as easy as Sonko playing ball, because at the end of the day, if Nairobi was to be upgraded according to the vision that the president has through the NMS, with him as governor, ultimately, he would have had at least the joy of saying, during my time, Nairobi, this and this and this happened. Now, whether it was through him or not, people will not pay attention to those fine details. Again, this was his first term, I think. He would have used that as a platform, perhaps, to even launch his campaign for a second term. Now, impeachment, if it actually goes through in the Senate, what does that mean for his political career at the end of the day?
Let's look at that for just a few seconds. What does that mean for his political career, according to you?
When you look at Governor Sonko, especially the rise from Member of Parliament to Senator first and then to Nairobi Governor, it has had the Jubilee administration's hand written all over it. Yes, he did have the numbers in Nairobi. Yes, he was a popular candidate at the end of the day. But the backing of the party in itself and the wave with which the party swept to victory both in 2013 and 2017 helped him a lot. In 2017 rather, helped him quite a lot. Now the party all of a sudden looks like it has abandoned him. Some of his sentiments have been not so kind to the party leader. It begs the question, will he want anything to do with Jubilee going forward? Secondly, if he is not an active member of Jubilee, then where does he go from there? Which other political outfit? Because you can only play politics through a political outfit, especially if you're seeking for elective office. Okay, yeah, you can run as an independent, but it's always stronger when you have a party backing you or a party behind you.
Of course.
So he leaves Jubilee. Where else is he going? I mean, I'm guessing ODM senators will be more than happy to impeach him because he got rid of their governor, Governor Kidero, before. So I don't think there's any love from them, or I don't think he can expect any love from them. Where else is he going to go? That's a question, and honestly, I don't see. I see a bleak future for him politically.
Which is quite harsh. And now, let's now look at Nairobi as a county. If he is successfully impeached, what does that mean for Nairobi County?
Well,
remember, we have no deputy governor.
Yeah, we don't have a deputy governor. Yes, that's a precarious position we find ourselves in. Although there were reports recently that the IEBC allegedly did not receive former Deputy Governor Polycarp Igade's letter of resignation. It's interesting. Resignation letters don't seem to be finding their destination. If you can remember, the same thing happened with Morade, and the president said he never received any letter from him. We'd have to get clarity from IEBC on that, because if there's to be a by-election, then they're the ones to run the election. We'll also be looking for guidance from the speaker, because he's the one to declare. He's the one to declare the seat vacant, rather, the Speaker of the Senate. And so we'll have to wait and see from those guys what feedback we get. It's a precarious position because you have to look at it from the point of view of now. I believe it's the Speaker of the Assembly is supposed to take over functions for about 90 days.
Yeah.
To facilitate for the organization of a by-election. A by-election in Nairobi, we are now in December, so that will most likely be towards next year, almost mid-next year, which is when we are anticipating, or the government is anticipating, to have the referendum. So what does that mean for both of them? Is it an additional expense that the government wants? Is it additional
Especially
instability?
Now, when you're still fighting a pandemic?
Exactly.
Wow.
So there's quite a bit to wait, but I mean, this is where you get to set jurisprudence first and foremost, even in terms of procedure, where we can set standards and procedures which can be followed by subsequent governments to come. These things will happen again and again, so we need to do it right this time round.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was Kagiri Mbugwa, who is an advocate of the High Court. And just to bring us to light on what exactly happens when it comes to impeachment of governors.